a Ghanatube so elzia form dot for slow message so emamo aqua bium matna cd na ewie insem ahodo enkoso ewo o my ganem na enzem para no me twentwen so emfama mo no yebeka kotie insem ahodo bi a enkoso ewo o my ganem.
Now how is it possible? You tell me. Put yourself in our shoes. That this man with this record, a man against whom these adverse findings have been made, never got reprimanded, but has rather been promoted to the position of Brigadier General. And yes, it is a promotion because the rank of a colonel is lower and below the rank of a Brigadier General. And not just that, to add insult to injury, of all the soldiers in the Ghana Armed Forces, it is this man who was found worthy of the position of General Officer Commandant of the Central Command of the Ghana Armed Forces, based in Kumasi, the capital of the Ashanti region, the MPP stronghold. An appointment given to him only this year, this election year, in July of 2024. How come? You want to tell us that those
powers are open to the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces?
Of course.
AKA Mr. President.
Yeah, and we have a right to criticize the exercise of that power and discretion is given. If that power and discretion to appoint persons into various positions is not exercised in the national interest, we have a right to criticize. And we are saying that this man is not worthy of this position. Based on his record.
If there were issues, don't you think the CDS would have,
this
raised
man,
them?
You don't know what is happening. Put your ears on the ground. This man is the shadow CDS of Akufo-Addo. This man does not even have...
There's a chief of defense staff.
I'm telling you,
the chief of defense staff is...
He will not be able to talk because of his oath of office. But this man is a Akufo-Addo's hatchet man. Everybody in the military knows. He has no respect for the CDS because he himself has been promised that just like you implemented our rigging plan for Ayawaso West Wagon by-election through violence, do same for us in 2024 and you'll be made this year.
Sammy Gyamfi, you can't substantiate what you're saying.
I can substantiate
and you're speaking against the person of Brigadier General Michael Opoku.
I can substantiate
without evidence.
I said I can substantiate it.
You can't
hold on. Because when he implemented the MPP's rigging plan for Ayawaso West Wagon by-election, he was promoted. True of us.
The fact that he was promoted does not mean these are the things you're saying.
A constitutionally mandated commission of inquiry recommended that he be reprimanded. Has he been reprimanded? He's not been reprimanded. He has rather been promoted and rewarded with another position.
That means that these things you're saying about his being a hatchet man, about his being called upon to rig the elections, you think that justifies this?
If he was not a hatchet man, when he was director of operations at National Security, what happened? What happened during Ayawaso West Wagon by-election? What happened when a journalist who was critical of this government, the editor of Modern Ghana, what happened to him? Was he not the person who supervised the abduction of a journalist and the torture of a journalist? Have you soon forgotten? When he was there, what happened to your colleague Kalim Kuda? This guy, what happened? Was he not the one that National Security used to even take over a facility belonging to Iyoko? Google him.
Sammy Gyamfi,
we know he's talking
these things have happened, but these claims you are making now about rigging and about his being a hatchet man must be detached from these conversations.
My brother,
you can't just lump all of them together, which is why we here do not subscribe to what you
don't even have to.
We are not giving credence to it.
No, you don't even have to.
You can withdraw if you want,
Benjamin.
But if you will not,
Benjamin,
then that is
Benjamin. Hold on. I take a serious exception to what you just said. We have done a press conference. You know the content.
No, but I'm saying that we here cannot individually.
You were at the press conference. You covered it.
So you can.
It was broadcast live on this platform. So it is not now, and we don't need you to reinforce anything. We have put out the credible intelligence we have on this man, and we are saying that based on his record we believe that intelligence. We are entitled to it. If you don't believe it, it is your own cup of tea. But any reasonable man listening to me, knowing the record of this guy and what he has been used for by Akufo-Addo, not only in relation to the Ayawaso West Wagon by-election, but even against journalists critical of this government who believe what we are saying.
Sammy, I want us to make progress here, right? I mentioned 4 key things that came out of that press conference. You've established why you think that the promotion is a reward for what he did in Ayawaso West Wagon. You've also made some claims about using his house as storage for weapons, I just want you to give us the evidence to back these claims. Like you already mentioned,
you want a picture in a video?
Well, how did you come by this information? How can we, as journalists, how can we verify? There's a trust but verify.
You journalists, listen,
how do we do that?
I'm even surprised that you asked me this question, because you journalists, per the ethics of your profession, when you publish certain sensitive information, you disclose your sources. Are you allowed by the ethics of your profession to disclose your sources? Answer me.
We're not asking you to disclose
answer me. We are talking to you about intelligence, and you are saying I should name my sources.
Sammy,
when the IGP
didn't say name your sources.
That is why
she didn't say name.
But if you tell me to give you evidence, what are you asking?
But how can you? How can you make such a claim without backing?
That is why.
Because of ABC.
That is why.
This is what we've come up.
A political party has every right to share intelligence it receives if it has a tendency of undermining free and fair and peaceful elections in this country. We have shared the intelligence we have received, and we are saying we believe it based on the track record of this man. And beyond that, as a responsible political party, we are petitioning the IGP, who is the chairman of the Election Security Task Force. We are petitioning the CDS to investigate these matters. And at that appropriate forum, if we are called in camera to discuss that with the powers that be, and we are convinced that they are genuinely interested in conducting credible investigations, we will share our intelligence with them. But no serious political party will come and sit in the studios of a television station and share intelligence about a commander of a whole battalion of the military. Who does that?
So you're saying, you just mentioned in camera, you're saying that if there were some commission set up, or even if this matter were to go to court, you would then be able to... No, I'm just saying. I mean, he could take you on for whatever. As far as he is concerned.
I will relish that day. Maybe you should.
And that is exactly what I'm saying. That over there, you would be willing to provide some of this evidence, right?
Oh, I've told you. We are very serious about this matter. This is not a matter that we intend to leave at the level of a press conference. Because we know of the well-crafted scheme they have put in place. And look, nobody is making up anything. Everything we have said, this gentleman is even a gentleman. This man has done before. Everything we have said. If it's about training MPP vigilantes, he's done it before. Because he was the one who trained double.
Right.
He was the one, those MPP, don't say right, those MPP vigilantes who were clothed in national security apparels and hooded to commit those atrocities we saw at Ayawaso West Wagon. Who trained them? It was this man. He was their commander. Put that aside. We've spoken about arming MPP vigilantes and clothing them in military uniforms as is planned for 2024. Has he done that before or not? He's done that before. It was under him as director of operations for national security that for the first time in history, we saw national security operatives in uniforms. Before him, had you seen some before? It was for the first time that we saw them in that khaki uniforms, in their boots, with masks, holding sophisticated weapons that, according to the short commission, should not have even been deployed for election purposes. It was under him. So we know him. He works with MPP vigilantes. He trains them, he clothes them in uniforms, he arms them to maim innocent people. He himself has taken responsibility for those atrocities. And adverse findings made against him by the short commission, for which reason he was recommended to be reprimanded. That finding has not been set aside. So anybody who defends such a man is a man bereft of conscience. His mere appointment is a scandal. It should not have even happened in the first place. In no serious jurisdiction will a man with such a credential or record be elevated to the position of Brigadier General and be made the general officer commanding of Central Command in no country.
You're a lawyer.
This guy is a danger and a threat to all of us.
You know of the principle of natural justice, which includes Saudi Alteram Partem. Listen to the other side. Brigadier General Opoku is not here to defend himself, which is why we're posing some of these questions to you, including, so if push comes to shove, you can prove based on your intelligence that he housed these munitions in his outfit,
based on our intelligence,
right?
And based on his record. That is it. His record. It is inextricably linked to this matter. His record.
Let's
look.
Let's talk.
If I come to Joy News and I come and steal your money from here, okay, and I am caught on camera, established to have stolen that money, and tomorrow I am taken to another studio of yours where there is money and all that, it will be a legitimate call by every or any reasonable person to say that based on what this guy did here, we can put him here because this is what he did here when we had money. It's as simple as that.
It's also possible that someone else could have stolen the money that time.
But we are saying that he should not be put in that position in the first place because he has proven to be a threat to free and fair elections. Tell me, I mean, I don't even see why we must debate this. If you had a stake in this election, okay, like a political party,
I have a stake as a citizen,
but
and a voter.
Exactly. Are you happy that the person who supervised, orchestrated, masterminded the Ayawaso West Wagon by-election mayhem has been given this critical position, which makes him an integral part of the election security architecture for Ashanti region and the other adjoining regions? Are you happy?
You know what? I do want to understand you, Sammy Gyamfi. In fact, your issues with the Electoral Commission has been, show us that you are being transparent. Show us that you don't have plans to rig elections. Show us this. Show and tell. The whole game that we all pay here is show and tell. I
didn't quite get
what I'm saying is, you've accused the Electoral Commission so many times of attempting to rig or having plans to rig the elections in the favor of the NPP. Correct?
Yes.
And in some of these instances, you've called them out to say, prove it, that you are not in bed with the NPP.
No, we've never done that.
I'm just surprised that we're having this whole conversation. We spent more than 20 minutes on this conversation, and you haven't yet proven one thing to say that because of this is why we say that this man is going to rig elections. And besides that, you're only saying that because of his track record. If somebody chews crab and says you chew calabash, you should believe him. I just want one fact, something that you can tell us, show and tell, that maybe I went to his house and I saw that in his storage, we saw the arms that we are talking about. Just one, and then we can move on from here.
My brother.
Otherwise, we're just speculating.
My sister.
You owe that to our audience.
You are the only person who may not be aware that what we have put out is proof in and of itself.
Just a press statement?
You may be the only person who is not scandalized and appalled by the fact that a person with such a criminal record will be given such a position. But for me, from the feedback we have received, even from the military, and here let me salute all our noble men and women in uniform who are working diligently to protect us. The feedback has been overwhelming. They are excited that the cover of this miscreant has been blown. They are excited that the issues have been laid bare in the media space and in the public space. So you are entitled to your opinion, and we are also entitled to our opinion. But for us as a political party, we are scandalized that the person who was found to have implemented the rigging plan of the MPP relative to the Ayawaso West Wagon by-election, the man who commandeered and unleashed armed MPP vigilantes clothed in national security apparels on innocent civilians, maiming some in the process. Okay. We are scandalized that man has been made a general officer commanding for Central Command of the Ghana Armed Forces. And we are also, let me conclude, and we are also very satisfied with the credible intelligence we have received relative to similar plans he's making for the 2024 elections. We believe it because his record bears that out, and that is why we have put out the information. If he doubts us, he should take us on, and we will deal with him at that forum.
Okay. Mohammed shortly as we conclude the conversation, but just briefly on the Ashanti region. You specify the Ashanti region. It is crucial to this election. What exactly is your position on what this influence was planned to have in the Ashanti region?
Well,
and what is your next move? You say you're going to come up with more. What is your next move in dealing with this? Elections are just, about 2 weeks away. What's your next move? And then we go to Haruna Mohammed.
First of all, your first question is why Ashanti? Because the headquarters of the Central Command is Ashanti region, Kumasi to be precise. And that is where this guy resides. Look, we know people he has spoken to, people he has told. That is why I said at the appropriate forum, the basis of our intelligence will be laid bare. People he has openly told that he will kill NDC people like flies, like they did at Ayawaso, West Wogon, and Techima South. We know. And those people are they stand ready to testify against him any day.
I was about to ask exactly.
But you see, the point is that Kumasi.
By the way, are these military officials you're speaking of?
I'm not supposed to tell you that. Now the point.
Why can't you tell me that?
Because you're
not mentioning names.
Because when you're dealing with such sensitive stories, you don't tell us your sources. It is for that same reason that
you're not telling me.
These are very sensitive security.
You are not giving me security detail. You are not giving me titles, ranks. You are just confirming for me.
We will be petitioning the IGP. We'll be petitioning the Chief of Defense Staff. We'll be petitioning the Utumfo or say to the second, the overlord of the Ashanti region. We'll be petitioning our developmental partners and all stakeholders in our electoral process, including the ECOWAS, including US government, the British High Commission and so on, to probe this matter. They have their own intelligence gathering system. And I'm sure that with their help, we will be able to call this guy and his minions to order. But we are also putting in place the necessary precautionary measures so that we don't once again become victims to these atrocities that Brigadier General Opoku is known for. So look, what we expect you, our friends in the media, the fourth estate of the realm, to do is to pick the short commission report and check what the report says about this man and ask the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Akufo-Addo, why he has not reprimanded him and has rather promoted him and has rather given him this position. That should be the starting point.
I was informed that I was Michi, and my cotier a year in some. I say, Moitié, ama, mo de comments, me or commenting. When yes, I ever mammy, na making kai, and mamma fefe, aha, a Ghanatube, so be on subscribe ya. I was informed to was and I subscribe, na face me a year education done, so send a behind same number to tuma, na win yan in tempers. My mom will to say, oh, like it, not a thing, so, but share in videos way, our channel way, so I was informed for her. Ghanatube, so wonderful, snowy, this year, dear, Macram.